Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Dan with Two Dudes. Today I want to talk about winning the buy box. So you guys are probably familiar with the buy box, and maybe you're not. So the buy box is having the ability to have buy now right next to your listing on Amazon. It's Amazon only, of course. So why is it so important? So winning the buy box, let's say for instance on a product that's already selling. Let's say you have a shirt that you really want to sell that somebody else is already selling, and you want to add your product to that as well. You want to sell a similar shirt, just right off that listing. It's completely legal. You're allowed to do that. So let's say for instance this person has the buy box. So they're allowed to run sponsored campaigns. That means ad traffic. They can throw ad traffic at it, meaning Amazon's going to show your listing to potential buyers. That's huge because you're going to take traffic that's already driven to Amazon and you're going to, pay a little bit of money and hope that somebody clicks through and, buys your shirt, buys your listing. So the buy box isn't all that difficult to get, but it's competitive. So let's say for instance there's 50 people selling that similar hoodie. A lot of things go into buy box consideration. Amazon's algorithm makes this decision, and it's pretty instantaneous depending on what you're selling. So let's say for instance that hoodie sells for 30 bucks and somebody's $29.99, and you go in there and you're like, all right, I'm going to undercut this person for $29.49. At that point you have the cheapest. Let's say for instance you're selling it the cheapest. You're the cheapest person selling that particular hoodie, and you want to win that buy box. Price tends to be one of the biggest considerations. So if you're selling it for 50 cents cheaper, you're probably going to get it. But something else to consider is Prime. Are you seller fulfilled or are you Prime? Is Amazon fulfilling this order for you? So if Amazon's fulfilling the order, FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, you're in great shape. Like, you don't necessarily need to have the lowest price, but most of the time you do. And it depends on how much competition is going on for that particular product. If you're not seller fulfilled, or if you are seller fulfilled Prime or seller fulfilled non-Prime, you have a much greater chance of getting it as long as nobody else has Prime or their Prime prices are much higher. So if that hoodie's selling for $44.99 Prime and you come in at $29.49 and you're not Prime, you still have a very good chance of winning the buy box. So that essentially means that you're ranked the highest. You're the best price. Maybe your review history is really good. You're probably going to get the buy box. So when a potential buyer wants to buy that product, they're going to see you first, which is huge because normally when if you go to buy something and it's going to get there the quickest and it's the cheapest, you're probably going to buy it, right? That makes the most sense. So being able to get the buy box is something you should always consider when selling on Amazon. But you're probably wondering, how do I get it? How do I win that buy box? So let's say for instance you're putting out something that's branded by your own store. Let's say your store's name is ABC123, and you list that same hoodie, but or shirt, and you're doing it yourself, and nobody else is there. It doesn't necessarily mean you get the buy box right away. There's a lot of factors that go into being able to win the buy box for stuff that you're selling by yourself that nobody else is selling. And assuming nobody's hijacked the listing. So if you list that shirt or hoodie right away and you've been on Amazon only for maybe, let's say for instance, like 15 days, maybe 30, it's still a new listing, you're a new seller, you don't have any reviews, even if you're the only person that is selling that particular item, doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get the buy box. So length of history on Amazon, your metrics are extremely important when it comes to winning the buy box. If you have bad metrics and bad reviews, doesn't matter if you have the lowest price. A lot of those things really don't matter. Even if you FBA the product, there's a good chance you're going to have difficulty gaining the buy box. Excuse me. So yeah, metrics, length of history, cost of the product, how stuff like that really comes into play on whether you get that buy box. And one of the biggest keys with the buy box is on Amazon, if you do not have the buy box for your product, you cannot run ad traffic for it. So if you just list something and you don't have the buy box for it, you can't pay money to have Amazon throw ads out there to snag some potential suitors for your product. That's huge. That's something that you really need to consider. So when you're looking at, selling on Amazon, the biggest key is winning the buy box. If it's a competitive item, it's something where a lot of people are selling it and you're riding off that listing, getting the buy box is essential to selling your product. Especially if it's competitive, you need to have the buy box. There's no other way around it. If you cost more, somebody's going to, it's normally cost and speed, how long it takes to get there. Those are your two biggest, determinations for, you got to consider being the buyer. If you go to look for something that, costs $29.99, you can get it in 2 days. Why would you spend $34.99 to get it, in a week? You won't. You're going to spend the cheapest to get it the quickest. That's just the way it is. That's how things work in e-commerce. So, really all in all, there's not a whole lot to it. It's really just get on Amazon, start selling things, regardless if it's, name brand, regardless if it's something that other people are selling. Get on there, get a history on Amazon, sell something, competitive or not. Just get sales out the door, get your rank higher, get some good reviews. We hope that you get some good reviews. It's difficult to get reviews on Amazon. I think it's like 1% chance that you get, actually get a review on Amazon. It's really, really low. It's hard to get reviews on Amazon. But yeah, get on Amazon, start selling, get your rank up there. People are going to buy it regardless without, without any ad traffic, without having the buy box. As long as you have a good history, you're selling something that either nobody else is selling or it's a competitive price, or stuff like that really comes into consideration. So, but the buy box is really key to success on Amazon, because the more and more you get the buy box, the more and more you win it, and the more you keep your customers happy, the more and more you're going to sell. So that's really it at the end of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. We're here to help you guys out any way we possibly can. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Appreciate it. Later, guys.